Explorers is one of the most anticipated Geometry Dash main levels. It is a level that we have been waiting for a very long time. So long I can't even name the number. It's been since 2017 since we first heard about Explorers. And it is such a level that is basically considered the 2.2 main level. And 2.2 is by far the biggest update we've gotten to Geometry Dash ever. When I say by far, I mean it is literally as big as every single update before it. This update is massive, so having Explorers directly linked to that update makes that level very, very special. However, what's unfortunate is that the level didn't make it into the update, and instead it got delayed to afterwards, and a lot of people got a bit upset. Some of them just didn't care at all because, I mean, to be honest, getting a new update after 7 years without one level is not really that big of a deal, especially when you have the alternative, which is, my boy Dash over here. But then Rob said that, Dash will come a little bit after 2.2, and 2.2 got released, and it's been a year, and Explorers has shown no signs. RobTop hasn't talked anything about Explorers, shown no progress, pretty much nothing. So now I feel like we are a little bit too deep into 2.2 that I think it is better for Explorers to actually be moved to update 2.3 or, believe it or not, even higher updates. And now this may sound like an absolute ridiculous claim, like why would you want Explorers, the 2.2 level, to be delayed to 2.3? Well, that's just like saying why didn't Rob just release 2.2 on October? If he said he's gonna release it on October just to make that one video not wrong, just release an unfinished update and that's it, call it a day. That's not how it works. It is better to delay the update and kind of miss the deadline by 2 months, but then have a finished update as opposed to, meeting that just sentence of a deadline and then having a wacky update which people won't enjoy. So the same thing we can apply to Explorers. Explorers is a level that is really, really hard to develop because of many factors. The first one being that this level is supposed to use pretty much every single 2.2 new feature. I mean, like gameplay wise, not like everything, every crazy stuff, but it should use the majority of the 2.2 features. And doing that is not an easy task, especially because main levels are very, very well designed, or that's at least how they should be before they are published to everyone to play. And that's the first thing that takes into place when it comes to why Explorers is taking so long. And the second thing is there is always a big advantage that the main levels have over normal levels. So for example, if right now, 1 year into 2.2, a level with the decoration of Dash dropped, let's say like a new level, somebody made it and it has the same quality as Dash, they would probably get a featured, maybe if they were lucky, they would get an epic. But what we thought when we first saw Dash, we were absolutely mind blown. We thought that's like the best level of all time. And that is because the level is using some features that we didn't have at the time. The first time we saw Dash, that was back in 2.1. That was 2022 or something, or 2021 even. And back then, we were stuck in this 2.1 era from 2017. Everything was so old back then. So seeing something this fresh is gonna, according to our standards back then, that was pretty legendary. And now 2.2 is released, and if Explorers would have come out with it, it would have been also considered a legendary level. But now we're way too deep into 2.2. We are one entire year into 2.2, meaning that people have come out with some of the craziest creations you can come up with. And this one is actually might be my favorite mythic level. From what I've seen, this level is very, very fantastic gameplay wise, which is honestly what I care about. out. But nonetheless, these levels that have been released within 2.2 show the true potential of 2.2, which means there is very little, room for RobTop to come with some new ideas to implement into his new main level, because back then, or pretty much every single main level had that advantage of being able to use things that we're not able to use. So as a result, they were automatically considered way better because they were just basically from like the future, if you can say. So now if Explorers came out and it's only allowed to use 2.2 objects, like I honestly can't see it really blowing my mind as much as a new main level would if it would have come out on a new update. Now, talking about this and looking at the levels that we're getting, it is very, very visible. You can see how insane people have gotten with using the 2.2 features. So giving those abilities to RobTop, which is a single creator behind that level, is he's not gonna come out to the result that's gonna absolutely blow our mind. Like, that's not gonna happen. That usually happens because there's an advantage of Rob being able to use blocks or things or features that were to us not available at the time. So in a nutshell, what does this mean for Explorers if it got released now? Well, it's not gonna be impressive. We're not gonna be impressed if Explorers came out in 2.2 or 2.21. When I say 2.2, I really mean 2.21 or 2.22 or 2. Whatever, like not 2.3, like prior to 2.3. So if it came out using no objects, I honestly cannot see how Rob would just come out with a crazy idea to make us all impressed after waiting for so long. So yeah, he's gonna go on cheat mode again to make us happy. And to do that, the only way is to basically delay Explorers to an update that would have more content added to it, meaning that RobTop would have more options to impress us, and those options would be only limited to him and then would be released to us when Explorers also gets released. Now this is very, very important because that way RobTop can also be the first person to use those specific features from, let's say, update 2.3 in that specific level, meaning that every time a new trigger has been implemented and somebody uses it in pretty much any way, it's gonna look pretty cool. So yeah, seeing that, for example, we can take Dash as an awesome reference, seeing that there's this shockwave effect, like seeing that for the first time, it's like, your mind starts boggling all over. But if you play in any normal level now and you see that thing, like, it's cool, but it's like, it's not as much of a big of a deal as when you first saw it in Dash. So the same way, like, what is Explorers gonna have if it came out in 2.2? Like, there's really nothing, I can't really see anything that Rob could blow our minds with. I mean, he could come up with a bunch of ideas, of course, but I don't think it's going to be as great as Dash, because Dash implemented the new features that this update introduced. So yeah, I think this is a very important discussion to take now, because it could be a detriment if we decide to, have Explorers in 2.2 just because of some emotional, arguments or any weird stuff on Twitter going on, and we might regret that for a pretty long time, because I still kind of feel sad that Dash isn't that decorated at the end. So yeah, if we want to have a new main level, we better have a good one, and RobTop wants that too. And to be honest, I don't think anybody doesn't want that. So that's why I think it is better for Explorers to move to 2.3. That way RobTop could have more freedom and more potential to show us the greatness of that level. Now, that being said, some of you guys may be upset about this because Explorers is a very cool level and we want it and all. I don't think I mind that much, honestly, about Explorers. There's literally a recreation of it online, which you can check out. And Explorers really was supposed to be like, what, 5%, 7% of the update? And yeah, it's really not that big of a deal. So having that even, delayed to 2.3, like, that doesn't really have any negative impact on me. If anything, then pure positive for me, for the community, for RobTop, and for the future of this whole game. I think this would be the right decision to do here, and I don't think anybody should be upset. So if Rob came tomorrow said, hey, I'm canceling 2.2 and deleting all levels off the servers, nobody should be upset. If RobTop came tomorrow and said, Explorers, it's going to be delayed to 2.3, nobody should be upset. In fact, we should be happy. So let's hope that happens. And yeah, that's going to be better for us and for everybody else. And in case you're wondering, well, why couldn't he just add it to 2.21 and add more, features into the editor with 2.21? Well, the reason for that is because RobTop doesn't do that. He usually adds the new objects or new features into the editor with a new major update, meaning 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, so no 2.21. We might get like small things, here and there, but nothing major as like, new gameplay type or wait, maybe Explorers could, be the level of the 2.3 game mode. That would be kind of heat. But there's going to be a boss fight, so I don't know how that's going to go, but I personally just see that as like the best thing, and I just wanted to share this with you guys to see what you guys think down in the comment section as well. So make sure to slap that like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to also slap that video that is on the screen right